What's up, everybody? Circus here, coming at you with another deck spotlight video. I got PDS with me because he's always got his ear to the ground, and he can hear these things before they happen, just like Evil Eye last week.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So, well, obviously, I got the deck on the screen right now, but what is this? Why are we talking about this? We've seen this before, right?
Yes, this is one of those dinosaur decks I've seen. I don't know if you ever watched the Battle Phase tournaments. Koraku Daru, he's always playing this.
Yeah.
But what makes him want to play this deck, or has it gained any traction? So right now, as we all know, the best deck, hands down, is going to be Blue Eyes, right?
Right.
That deck is insane, and this deck has access to the trap card Survival's End. And you're like, PDS, like all that does is summon a dinosaur from the deck. How does that be Blue Eyes? Well, the interaction with it is that Survival's End destroys normal monsters on the field, and
Hmm.
it just so happens that Blue Eyes White Dragon is a normal monster.
So, does it destroy
So
all normal monsters on the field?
yes,
Or
it
okay.
does. Yeah, including your opponents. So you get to destroy your opponent's Blue Eyes and summon dinosaurs from your deck. So it has that interaction. And then not only that, you have access to the trap card in the graveyard, which gives you basically a Regeki break, like on your opponent's turn, and then
Hmm.
you also get to float into more dinosaurs, so you get a lot of resources like that.
Okay.
You get to
So,
force out cards.
so where is this hot right now? We haven't really seen it in our tournaments.
Yeah, it's very popular in a lot of the Asian tournaments. We've seen it and also the team tournaments, with team wars and clan wars.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
how is it doing? Is it doing well? I'm sure you don't have
yeah, so
stats off the top of your head, but I mean, is it doing pretty
yeah,
well?
they're bringing it in versus Blue Eyes, and it's doing relatively well actually. Yeah, compared to the other decks that they try to bring in to counter Blue Eyes.
Hmm.
So
This looks like an
so
expensive deck to me, though.
yes. This is so. What do you need to build this deck? You're gonna need to go into the Truth Universe box.
Hmm.
So, what reason would you have to go into that? If you build DDDs, then you have your miscellaneous source potentially. You're gonna
Maybe,
need
hopefully.
yes 3 to 2 copies of that card, and then Giant Rex. That's an event card, I believe, right? You can get it
Yep.
from the yep.
Well, that's
And
just
Raiden
tickets.
is
Yep.
yeah Raiden is gonna be from Judgment Force. Lightsworn Engine, always really really nice. And then Megalo Smasher is you're gonna have to dig for that. Charge you got already, Canadia. If you follow, the new player
That's
guide. There you
right.
go. Yeah, there you go. So this deck also has, the access to Survival's End with Paleozoic Morella. It allows you to send a trap card to the graveyard. That gives it a lot of interesting matchups versus other decks because they have access to pops that other decks do not have.
Right, because
So
you can send using the Morella, you can just put the survivals in right there, so you don't have to get it into your hand and discard it somehow or use it on the field or whatever. You can just get it right into the grave.
exactly.
Okay.
So you're gonna have interactions that other decks do not have. So it's gonna be an interaction kind of like the Abyss Dweller pop with the heavy infantry. You're gonna
Hmm.
have something like that in your deck.
So the Raiden that's in there, that's just mainly to get stuff into the grave, and it looks like there's two synchros you can go into.
Right. So you Brionic and Scrap Dragon.
Hmm.
So Raiden is there because you're gonna have access. You're gonna want to send a lot of your trap cards because even if your opponent activates traps, you can get your Paleos back onto the field. And when you do that, you can activate Survival's End because the Paleo monsters are also normal monsters on the field. So that's gonna
Hmm.
give you more ways to summon dinosaurs from your deck. And then also Raiden has synergy with Miscellaneousaurus, which is when it's in your grave, you can banish dinosaurs equal to a level, and then you can summon that level from your deck. So if you banish Miscellaneousaurus and another dinosaur, you can summon the Baby Cerosaurus, which is a level 2. Also, this deck has the game finisher, the Tyranno Infinity. I've seen it go up to like 6,000 attack. It just gets attack based off of
Banished
your
cards or banished
your
dinos,
banished
right?
dinosaurs. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can get it
Okay.
really really huge. And then of course Giant Rex. You can also banish uh, Giant Rex with Miscellaneousaurus, and then you can special summon the Baby Cerosaurus, and then that will also allow you to special summon back the Giant Rex because it was banished. So
Hmm.
you have a lot of cool little, the deck just has a lot of synergy. Everything synergizes with each other. Just so happens the Paleo are normal monsters. It just so happens everything is pretty good in the graveyard. So yeah, you have a lot of these synergies that makes the deck flow really well.
So if you don't have Canada, you could just probably put Book of Moon in here, right? It does the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have Canada, you probably don't have Book of Moon, but you could maybe
Book
try
of
one of
Moon's a
those
normal
other.
monster too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
uh,
actually, in this deck exclusively, I think the Canada is going to be better just
Canada is
because it
gonna be
has
better,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you get
Uh,
that double.
so is this just good against Blue Eyes, or does it have other good matchups?
Yeah, so it has a very good matchup against the. So the thing is, you're going to have that pop, which is what
Hmm.
you want. So that pop is going to give you a lot of. It's going to give you disruption that other decks aren't necessarily always going to have access to. So you got the Canadia. Let's say you're playing against Star Seraph Dark Lords. They're going to go for their rank 4. Their Star Seraph. Their combo. You
Right.
can just flip. You can flip one of them down with Canadia, and that's it. They can't do it. Or you can pop one of them with Survival's End, and they can't do it. So then also you can pop the Dark Lords, so you have a lot of leeway with that matchup. And then obviously you're gonna have access to a lot of ways to try and force out the trap card from the Dark Lord player. You can go into multiple monsters that can just they're gonna have to their must negate monsters like number 70, Brionic, even Tyranno Infinity. You can put a lot of pressure with those monsters, so they have to
Hmm.
be very careful with their negates.
I'd say, how does this match up against the water deck? But I don't think that even matters anymore, does it?
Well, a lot of people are liking, yeah, the water deck is still going to be played. Just if there's going to be people that spend money
Right.
on it,
Right.
so
Right. There's still people
yeah,
that play,
so
but it's falling hard
it's
right now.
yes, so that is an interesting matchup just because they do have the Abyss Dweller, and that's going to lock down um your graveyard effects. But you are playing the back row yourself as well. You're playing your Canadias, your Karma Cuts, your
Hmm.
Survival's End, your Morella. Not Morella, but a lot of those cards are going to be able to disrupt them, and it's going to be able to help you fight back. Even if they do stop your graveyard for one turn, they're not going to be able to stop it forever.
Right. Repeatedly.
Exactly.
And then Automat's kind of same. Can this thing handle an OTK?
Yeah, so that's the other thing. It's really good against True Nate because they're going to get the Survival's End into the graveyard, and there's not
Hmm.
really a lot of decks that can deal with that. It's kind of like having a hand trap, except it's in your grave. You know what I mean? Like you're just gonna
Hmm.
have access to it. So it's just like Sphere Cradle stops Onomats. This is the same thing. You're just gonna have the Survival's End in the grave. You can't really interact with it too much.
A deck that's been hot that we talked about last week, Evil Eye. What about that one?
Yeah.
That one actually made the power rankings, so we
Yes.
have to talk about it now.
All right. How does it do against Evil Eye? I think honestly, Evil Eye has a pretty good matchup against this deck
Yeah, because they're
because
just
you
gonna
want
banish
the
everything,
Medusa.
right?
Yes, that Medusa is deadly. Medusa and Storm, like you're gonna have even if they
Right.
storm you though, at least you could potentially have Survival's Ends, try to pop their Medusa as Chainlink 2 to the
Hmm.
Selene. So while you can still target it. But yeah, this deck is very, very powerful against the Blue Eyes deck.
Hmm.
That Survival's End is just something that will completely change the game to your favor.
All right, one last deck just because we're here. Thunder Dragons, a deck that didn't even make the power rankings this week.
Yeah,
Oof.
Thunder Dragons is falling hard just because it's that one of those decks that favors power over consistency,
Hmm.
but it really suffers greatly when it doesn't. When you can't play, it's over basically. Like you're bricked hard.
Right.
So how does the deck do against it? So obviously, they have access to Chaos Dragon Levianeer, which is insanely powerful because it's gonna pop your monsters, your traps. A lot of control decks, which this is a control deck, right? They suffer really hard to Chaos Dragon Levianeer. So I would say that this deck has a pretty, it's going to be like 60-40 matchup against Thunder Dragons,
Hmm.
simply because they have access to the Levianeer and they have access to the Photon Strike Bouncer, which can stop you from milling a lot of cards with Raiden.
Hmm. All right. Well, this is a deck I guess we're gonna have to keep an eye on. Hopefully, we'll see it get some power ranking finishes and see if it maybe gets into the top 5. So we'll have to wait and see if PDS was right. You were right about Evil Eye. You were right about
Yeah.
Evil Eye. So
This one's kind of out there, but I like to let you guys know about these decks that I'm kind of keeping my eye on. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of nice. I know. I'm if you guys, I know Circus is a fan. Kind of like in ninjas, to be honest. But we'll see. I
Oh,
don't know if we'll make a video, but that's just
all
another deck
right,
I've been.
all right. We'll keep an eye on that one too then. All right, I hope you guys like these videos. I always think it's a lot of fun to find out what's maybe the up and coming deck. So if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, get in our Discord because it's free. The new player help is free. The tournaments are free. It's all good stuff in there. So we're gonna get out of here. I'm Circus, as PDS.
See you guys. Also, please send me Limit Sage. Thank you, Konami.
All right, we'll see you next time.